Welcome back to English B Honeysuckle Unit 10. We have already discussed part 1 and part 2 of the story, The Banyan Tree. Today we will discuss part 3 that includes paragraphs 10, 11, 12 and 13. As always, here are a few points for you to note. Recalling the previous lesson, reading of the paragraphs as model, explanations of keywords and phrases, comprehension questions with answers, and summary of the paragraphs discussed. In the previous lesson, we read that the cobra raised itself from the ground and spread his spectacled hood. The mongoose too showed his readiness to fight. He brushed his tail and hair on his spine stood on end. Did the fight begin? Let's go to the next part, that is paragraph 10, to know it. Though the combatants were unaware of my presence in the tree, they were soon made aware of the arrival of two other spectators. One was a myna, the other was a jungle crow. They had seen these preparations for battle and had settled on the cactus to watch the outcome. Had they been content only to watch, all would have been well with both of them. Explanations of keywords and phrases. Combatants. It means those that were engaged in the combat or fight. Spectators. It means onlookers or those who watch a show, games, etc. Preparations. It means getting prepared to do something. Outcome. It means result or aftermath or consequence. Here is a set of short questions with answers to comprehend the ideas contained in the paragraph. 1. Who are the combatants referred to here? The combatants referred to here are the snake and the mongoose. 2. Why were they unaware of the presence of the persona? They were much concerned about the presence of each other. Moreover, the persona was up in the tree hiding. Three. Where did the spectators seat themselves to see the result of the battle? They seated themselves on the cactus to see the result of the combat. 4. Who were the spectators? The spectators were a myna, a jungle crow, and the persona from his tree library, unnoticed by all present in the battleground. Summary of the paragraph discussed. The participants engaged in the fight were not aware of the persona's presence. The two others, a myna and a jungle crow, were seen clearly. They settled on the cactus to watch the result, but they were not satisfied with mere watching the fight. They witnessed everything, cheered the fighters, and it would be alright if they were pleased only with witnessing the fight. The last line in the previous paragraph implies that the spectators did not confine themselves in witnessing the fight only. What did they do? Let us begin paragraph 11. The cobra stood on the defensive, swaying slowly from side to side, trying to mesmerize the mongoose into making a false move. But the mongoose knew the power of his opponent's glassy, unwinking eyes and refused to meet them. Instead, he fixed his gaze at a point just below the cobra's hood and opened the attack. We have come across words and phrases like expensive, mesmerize, false move, unwinking, and opened the attack in the paragraph. Let us explain them. Defensive, it means defending, protective. Mesmerize, it means enthrall or fascinate or spellbind or hypnotize. False move, it means an unwise action that might bring dangerous result or outcome or consequences. Unwinking, it means unwavering, steady. Gaze, it means a continued look of attention. Opened the attack, it means started the attack. Here is a set of short questions with answers to comprehend the paragraph under discussion. 1. How was the cobra's preparation to attack the mongoose? The cobra's movement was defensive. He was trying to spellbind the mongoose into making an unwise action. 2. What was the mongoose aware of the opponent's power? The mongoose was aware of the power that the cobra's glassy, unwinking eyes have. Three. Where did the mongoose fix his eye? The mongoose fixed his eye on a point just below the cobra's hood. 4. Why did the mongoose aim at a point just below the cobra's hood? The mongoose aimed at a point just below the cobra's hood because he considered the spot most vulnerable. Here are a few words to summarize the paragraph just discussed. The cobra was trying to hypnotize the mongoose with his movements so that the mongoose would make false attempt to attack him, but the mongoose, who was well aware of the power of its opponent, fixed his focus on attacking the cobra at a point just below the cobra's hood and started the attack. The fight has started. Both the cobra and the mongoose seem to be equally strong Let us read paragraph 12 to see what happens next. Moving forward quickly until he was just within the cobra's reach, the mongoose made a pretended move to one side. Immediately, the cobra struck. His great hood came down so swiftly that I thought nothing could save the mongoose. But the little fellow jumped neatly to one side and darted in as swiftly as the cobra, biting the snake on the back and darting away again out of reach. The words and phrases that we have come across in the paragraph are cobra's reach, pretended move, neatly, and darted. Let us explain them. Cobra's reach. It means cobra's striking range or distance. Pretended move. It means feint. Neatly means in a neat manner. Darted. It means moved quickly or speedily or quickly. Here is a set of questions with answers to comprehend the paragraph just discussed. 1. When did the mongoose make the feint? He made the feint as soon as he reached the cobra's striking range. 2. How did the cobra react as soon as he got the mongoose within his striking distance? His great hood came down swiftly on the mongoose. What happened to the mongoose then? He was quick enough to save himself, beat the snake on the back, and darted away to a safe distance instantly. 4. Who seemed to be cleverer of the two? To me, the mongoose seemed cleverer. Here is the summary of the paragraph just discussed. The mongoose made false quick movements within the cobra's striking range. The cobra moved his hood down so swiftly that it seemed the mongoose would not be saved. But this little creature was quick to jump to a safe distance. He beat the snake on his back and again moved away out of the cobra's reach. The fight is in progress. Paragraph 13 will reveal its result. At the same moment that the cobra struck, the crow and the myna hurled themselves at him only to collide heavily in mid-air. Shrieking insults at each other, they returned to the cactus plant. A few drops of blood glistened on the cobra's back. Explanations of words and phrases that you have come across in the paragraph. Hurled, it means threw with force. Collide, it means come into conflict. In mid-air, it means a part of the air above ground level. Glistened, it means shone. Shrieking insults, sharp, shrill cries of insult. set of short questions with answers to comprehend the paragraph. 1. The cobra struck. Who was the target? The target was the mongoose. 2. When did the crow and the myna throw themselves at the cobra with a great force? They threw themselves at the cobra when the cobra struck the mongoose. What happened as a result? The crow and the myna collided in the mid-air as the cobra spat and slipped from their aim. 4. Why were the birds shrieking insults to each other? Each one of them held the other responsible for their failure to attack the cobra. Summary of the paragraph under discussion. The moment the cobra attacked the mongoose, the crow and the myna hurled themselves at him, missed the target and collided in mid-air. They returned to the cactus, shrieking insults to each other. There were drops of blood on the cobra's back. This much is for today. We'll be back with the remaining part of the story in the next class.